Hello everyone and welcome to another Lurlian broadcast, and you might be thinking, what the hell, Lurlian is doing something that is not a live broadcast, and that is correct. Today I'm going to be casting a game from a replay, as you were able to determine from the area on the bottom right of the screen here. I'm going to be casting a replay from the IPL4. It is going to be the semi-finals of bracket number 1 of the open bracket at IPL4, and this is going to be the third game between STParting and FXOLeenock, and Leenock is going to be our blue Zerg player here in the top right spawn position on the map Daybreak, and in the bottom left we find STParting. At least the account name is STParting. It is of course STParting who is playing this game. The score is tied up at 1-1, and as you can see, the winner of this match, it is a best of 3, will advance to the next round and will have a chance, or would have had a chance, to play in the main event of IPL, the main bracket, the championship bracket, so to say. So that being the introductions, we're gonna be getting into this game right now. Of course, it's a PvZ. Like I said on Daybreak, we see that STParting is going for a very traditional Forge expand here on this map. It is relatively safe to do on this map, not the best map in my opinion to be Forge expanding on, because there is no ramp and there is quite a bit of area you have to cover. But for some reason, a lot of Protoss players do feel very safe Forge expanding on this map. Personally, I play Protoss myself. I feel a lot more safe while expanding, while Forge expanding on a map such as Shakiro's Plateau or Tal'Darim Altar. But of course, those two maps are really, you know, you don't really see him as much anymore. By the way, Nexus first here out of Parting. He has a scouting probe. Or actually, I would expect him to have a scouting probe in the main base. Wow, did he not scout? Wow, that is so risky by Parting here. He's just playing in the dark right now. Wow, that is amazing. I've actually not seen that in the recent times at all. You pretty much always have to scout as a Protoss player. Scout for that 6 pool, 8 pool, 10 pool, 12 pool. And this is one of the most risky things you can do. Looks like Parting is gonna start this match off with a big risk here. Going Nexus first without scouting. Wow, that is definitely something new here. Let's see how this is going to play out for him. Luckily for him, though, FXOLeenock has gone for a very traditional build. Spawning pool into hatchery, of course. Not a hatch first build in case you get cannon rushed. You never want to get cannon rushed as a Zerg. On this map, there's some very cute positions you can cannon rush out. If you place a pylon in this position, and if you place a pylon here, you can put a cannon over here. And that's going to be pretty much impossible for the Zerg to break very early on. It's a bit different on some other maps. Some maps are more safe to 15 hatch on than others, but in general, it's not a good idea to do it against Protoss. Against Terran, of course, very traditional, very standard to be going for a 15 hatch as Zerg, but versus Protoss, we don't really see it as often anymore, unless someone really wants to take a big risk. Here are the first 2 lings out of Leenock. The cannon finishes up barely in time to scare that ling away, so he's going to be running him back home. The probe out of Parting has been able to see the hatchery at the third base, so he knows exactly what's happening. He's not even scouted into the main base. He knows there's no gases because he sees hatchery 1 and he sees hatchery 2. Parting knows all that he has to know. And is this probe gonna make it out of here? Ooh, it's gonna be close. This Zergling wants to have a piece of it, and I think it's gonna go down. Yes, the probe does fall. Wow, that was so close. Only 1 extra centimeter and that probe would have been able to get away, but not gonna happen. Probe dies, and Parting is gonna continue his mid-game plan here, so to say. He's getting an early +1. He's getting out a Zealot. Nope, never mind. Cancels the Zealot. Goes for a Stalker instead. Changes his mind there. I'm not really sure what made him change his mind. Maybe this Overlord that he saw over here. He was like, oh well, maybe if I make a Stalker right now, I might be able to chase this Overlord down and kill it. But of course, there's this cute high ground place here. This area is considered high ground, so you need to have an Observer, a Phoenix, or a Colossi there to be able to spot the high ground and take that Overlord out. There's another Overlord here by Leenock, a little bit far into the base, and I think if the Stalker runs up to it immediately and starts firing, might be able to take that out, but the Stalker's not going to do that. The Stalker is going to do something that we see more and more Protoss players do as of late. Just go out on the map because you know your opponent doesn't have speed yet, and roaches of course are not going to be anywhere near on the way yet. So this Stalker can actually go ahead and gain a lot of map control, push out across the map, maybe kill a few of those slow Zerglings that are hanging out at the watchtowers and all that kind of shenanigans. We've got Zergling speed now coming up for FXOLeenock, who is still playing nothing but standard. He's on 34 workers, so he's nowhere near the saturation you want to be on 3 bases yet. Usually you see Zerg players go up to, you know, 50 55. If they want to take a big risk, they go all the way up to 60 before they start unit production. But in the current meta game, it's just so risky to be going up to 60 drones immediately because there's so many pressure builds. And talk about pressure builds, here it is. By Parting, he's going for a 5-gate pressure here. This Overlord is trying to scout, but it has not seen anything. Nice place to be hiding these gateways, by the way. Nice position on the pylon as well. Only one pylon powering 4 gateways and hiding them very, very well. This Overlord has seen absolutely nothing. It has seen 2 sentries, and it has seen a Stalker. So a double Stargate build is pretty much going to be out of the question. Ooh, nice scouting here by Leenock. Finds this pylon, and that's going to be shutting down a little bit of that aggression that Parting was planning on. This is the only proxy pylon that he has, and oh, he's warping in the Zealots, and they are going to be here barely in time to actually save the pylon. That's amazing. Good timing. Well, I should say a bit of a lucky timing there for Parting. He was barely able to get that warp in out before those Zerglings took out the pylon. The Roaches are now on the way. 8 Roaches are coming. A few Speedlings are out on the map. They're not going to be able to do too much against this many Zealots. And oh, they're catching the sentries off guard. Beautiful. Wow. That is the most amazing first fields I have ever seen. Saving the 2 sentries, trapping the Zerglings over here. Wow, that is real top class player. That is real Kodas style here. Saving 2 of the sentries, then trapping all the Zerglings. I'm always so jealous when I see the control that these players have on their units. I'm a high Master League player myself. I'm in a really good mood today because I hit rank 7 in Master League today, and I've been playing some good games. So I'm pretty happy with myself, and I think that Parting is going to be pretty happy with himself as well because he's doing some decent pressure. There's a Spinecrawler coming up for Leenock, and he's making nothing but Lings and Roaches right now. He has gone up to only 42 workers, so he does not have that much of an economy just yet. Only 42 workers. I think there's not much of a discrepancy yet. No, 39 probes to 42 workers for Leenock right now, but there's 12 larvae in the bank, and Leenock is currently supply blocked, and as soon as these 2 Overlords finish up, he can go ahead and either try to make a lot of Lings and Roaches and punish the upcoming 3rd base, or ooh, a little bit of a Ling run by here in the natural of Mr. Parting. He's losing a few probes. Actually, more than just a few. He's already lost 4 workers in this game. The Zerglings are now going to be heading into the main base. And let's see what Leenock is going to be making. His Overlord's finished. Is he going to be droning? Yes, he is going to be droning. 2 Zealots in a mineral line, going to be scaring those Lings away. They've done some decent damage. I'd say that's worth it. Killing about 5 workers. I don't think they'll get any of the Stalkers. They've got 2 good of upgrades. And so do the Zealots, of course, with the +1, doing amazing amounts of damage. So looking back in the main base of Leenock, we see that he has double gas. He has his lair finished up. He's got Roach Speed and +1 on the way. So very standard play here out of Leenock and Parting so far. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Robo out of Parting soon, and he already has one finished up, just finished up I should say. His first Observer, I think his first Observer, yep, his first Observer is about to hit the field. Wow, that probe is lucky. Well, not for long though. The probe gets found and gets taken out. Here are the Roaches out of Leenock. He has been droning up, so these Roaches were just a remnant of the early game that helped defend the early 5-gate that Parting was throwing at him. Ooh, barely missing the pylon here, but he will get it now. That's one of the last, well, actually that is the last proxy pylon that Parting had out on the map. Always annoying not to have a single pylon here when you're being attacked at the front, and warping in a big run of Zealots in the background and going for a bit of an attack at the 3rd base could be something that Parting was planning on, but now his pylon got taken out and he is supply blocked. We see that Leenock is probably not going to try to go all in on denying the 3rd base here. He's following it up with a very normal play, I'd say. He's getting more gases. He's going up to 6 gas, and he's getting a Spire. He's also getting Roach Burrow, though, so he's not quite committing to anything like mass Mutalisk, though. He's also keeping his Roaches with a good upgrade, so he wants to keep up as many tech paths as possible to probably just react appropriately to what his opponent's doing. Ooh, these Roaches are going to get force fielded here. Not sure on this decision by Leenock. He does get 1 Stalker, but I think that's about everything he's going to be able to kill. Leenock has to be careful here. Of course, those Roaches do have speed, but Blink is on the way for these Stalkers, and when these Stalkers get Blink, there's no way those Roaches can really get away safely anymore. This Overlord still hanging out here, has seen the Robo in construction, so he knows Immortals are probably going to be hitting the field. 4th base coming up as Leenock gets in position to just poke at this space. Definitely not an attack, just poke in and run away. 15 Roaches and 28 Zerglings on the way. The Spire is about to finish up. I think it's in a natural. No, it's not in a natural. It's actually at the 3rd base, and so is the Baneling Nest. We're probably not. Oh, once again, good force fields here. Roach Burrow is not research. He's getting Tunneling Claws, but he's not getting Burrow. That is very interesting. Might be a little bit of a mistake here by Leenock, not getting the Burrow, but getting Tunneling Claws. I mean, you're not going to be able to use Tunneling Claws unless you have that burrow upgrade at all. So that's a little bit weird. You'll probably realize that anytime soon. The Roaches and Lynx now going to be trying to pressure a little bit more as the Mutas are on the way. Only 7 Mutas in production though, because FXOLeenock has been making so many Roaches, invested in upgrades for those Roaches as well, invested in a Baneling Nest, and invested gas pretty much everywhere. Once again, wow, Parting with his force fields, they are spot on today. And these Zerglings are going to go out to scout a little bit, but really there's not that much to see at all. This 4th base is now mining for FXOLeenock. He's going to saturate the gas immediately to be able to keep up that Muta production. And talking about the Mutas, they are hitting the field right now. There's about 9 of them on the field that I can see. 9, not that many yet, but 9 is still a little bit of a dangerous number. They could harass. Oh, look at this. Ooh, a lot of idle probes here. That's not a good idea, but he does have 3 cannons in the main base, so that's going to be able to buy him more than enough time. STParting is playing it really safe here. He's got cannons everywhere, and he is just, you know, he's playing the defensive game, and that is how we see a lot of Protoss players play. After they have done some damage in the early game, they just defend and get out that ideal unit composition. Not the most traditional ideal unit composition coming up for Parting, though. He's going for Templar Archives now, not heading towards the Mothership and the Colossi Death Ball that you usually see in the end game. He's going maybe for Storms to deal with the Mutalisk. You never know how many Mutas your opponent's going to make, and when it becomes real mass Muta, you really have to get those Storms out to be able to deal with that. FXOLeenock still wants to do some damage here, but he's having such a hard time finding angles to do damage. It's really stunning to watch here. Here he goes again, going for the Forge. Not currently researching anything, but this is going to delay the upgrades quite a bit, and every single Zergling and Roach and Muta is going to be streaming into the base here. What is he going to be able to do? It looks like he might want to go for the Nexus. I am pretty unsure what his target's going to be here. Looks like it's going to be the Templar Archive for now. The Templar Archive does get taken out. These Mutas are going to have a hard time retreating, though. The Stalkers blink down, and they're going to be intercepting quite some of those Mutas. The Lynx and Roaches are going to get cleaned up. A few sentries get taken out, though. More than just a few. About 4 or 5 sentries have gone down there. The Mutas now harassing the 3rd base at the same time. And Parting is going to be running over there immediately. These Mutas are getting quite some worker kills. 9 worker kills so far by FXOLeenock. So no catastrophical numbers yet. Ooh, these Templar have to be so careful. They could get sniped. They don't have a Storm, but the Mutas are there to cover them. So FXOLeenock is going to be forced to go into the main base, and he's going to be stuck in a little bit of an awkward position here. He cannot really go back here because he will get attacked, and he can't really go by this way either because there could be Stalkers in that position too. So these Mutas are going to be a little bit stuck over here. Not too bad though. It's not like they are never going to get out of there. As soon as Parting doesn't pay attention for a second, these Mutas are going to go in again and do some damage. He might even just keep the Mutas here in this little this little void to be going in and do more harassment. Baneling's now coming up for FXOLeenock, taking a look at the unit stat to see how many drones he's on. FXOLeenock's at 80 workers, very good number to be at, maybe a few too many, but when you're in the mid game like this and playing super aggressive such as FXOLeenock is, throwing away units constantly, you do have to have a little bit more drones than you normally would have. The Mutas actually just fly by here, the Stalkers don't even react. Looks like Parting was somewhere else with his attention. He could be over here at this observer, and he could be seeing all these units over here. Ooh, this observer is not going to live very long. There is an overseer about 3 centimeters away. This observer is going to go down. He sees the Mutas, though. This is very important for a Protoss player to know that your Zerg opponent continues making Mutas, and you have to continue getting Storm and getting Stalkers and probably delay any kind of tech switch you had in mind. Here come those Mutas. There's a scary amount of them this time around, 29, and a few cannons will not be able to stop them, but there is a High Templar here. Not enough energy for Storm though, but the Stalkers are blinking back into the main base to help deal with that. The Banelings and Zerglings have been stormed over here. They did not do too much damage here. Ooh, those Banelings running back in, and oh, what a beautiful move. Morphing all those High Templar into Archons, trying to save them, but the Mutas still snipe most of them, so good moves by both players here. Just countering each other's good moves, but with good moves, and that turns out that nobody really comes out ahead or super far behind. There's still about, how many Mutas is this? 18 Mutas in this control group, or in this little bunch. One goes down, so that remains 17 Mutas on the field right now, as we see FXOLeenock taking a 5th base. He's going up towards the Hive deck. He's got his infestation pit down, and he's already got pathogen glands researched, so his infestors are going to be pretty amazing here. The Mutas trying to find another angle here, and they're going to snipe the High Templar, and they do get the High Templar. Nice snipe here by FXOLeenock. I'm not quite sure if those High Templar did not have enough energy, or they were just not being controlled by Parting, but I think they were lacking the energy there, so that was always a good thing to snipe freshly warped in High Templar. We've got another observer heading out here for Mr. Parting. He will Well, actually, he should be scouting the main base sometime soon. You really want to know when that Hive Tech is going to be hitting the field and when Broodlords could be on the way, because when Broodlords hit the field, you usually need something like a Mothership and Archons or some Void Rays or, you know, just something different. It's